This summer's GTA Online update may seem small compared to others in the past, but Rockstar's actually introduced a lot of small quality of life changes, livery updates, vehicle fixes, map changes, and brought back many vehicles to the in-game websites. So today we're going to cover nearly 150 changes that took place in GTA Online with the newest Money Fronts DLC. To start, in the first contact mission you can do for Mr. Faber, you can actually feed and pet the dog in the runner's house. Before hacking into the computer, you can feed the dog by filling its bowl, and after hacking into the runner's computer, you can actually pet the dog as many times as you'd like, which is a feature that many players are very happy to see. One of the new cars in this update, the Hardy, has a taxi livery and can be used for taxi missions.
I got a customer for you right now.
But it wasn't the only vehicle to receive this change in the update.
Gracias.
The drift version of the Cypher has had a taxi livery for a long time, but just got added to the roster of vehicles that can be used for taxi missions, meaning that we now have 4 custom vehicles plus the 2 taxis that we can use for taxi missions. The only exception to this rule is the Dynasty, which has had a taxi livery for years and still can't be used. Many people already know that the Jester RR widebody had a name change to the LSCM Jester RR. But many people also miss the fact that it wasn't the only vehicle to receive a name change in this update. The Grotti Itali GTO Stinger TT has a shorter name and is just being referred to as the Grotti Stinger TT. They've gotten rid of the Itali GTO, so. As for changes to the vehicles in the game, the Suzumi Supercar has a broken sunstrip. Upon adding a sunstrip to the vehicle, you can see it appear in the back seat of the car, which is obviously not where it's supposed to be. I presume that this will get fixed in the coming weeks or with the last DLC of GTA Online. The Suzumi also adds to the list of cars with butterfly doors, which is a fairly short list, and it's always nice to see new additions. It also adds to the list of vehicles that have active spoilers, which I covered in this video over a year ago. The Hardy also sees some rare customizations that are only seen on a select number of vehicles, including a drift charm, although this is the stationary drift charm and not the one that hangs and swings back and forth, which is a little upsetting. The Hardy also sees the addition of mud flaps, which are only seen on a handful of vehicles, as well as the ability to move the front plate from left to right or keep it in the center. The Hardy is also the 27th vehicle in the game to receive an anime livery, so you can add that to your anime garages if you have one. Continuing on with more customizations, the Evron RS adds to the list of vehicles that have spare tires, and although I've never made a comprehensive list of all the vehicles with this feature, a user named @sulpur on Twitter let me know that the Evron RS also has the ability to tint all of its windows, including the windscreen, which I know is only available on a few vehicles, though again I haven't made a comprehensive list yet. The Evron RS also has a glitched out part of the vehicle. If you look closely at the front of the Evron RS, you can see that the intercooler actually clips through the grille, which is sad to see and will again probably be fixed in the coming weeks or with the next DLC. The Tampa GT adds to the list of vehicles with roof racks, but even further adds to the even smaller list of vehicles with surf racks on top. The Sentinel GTS joins that car with the surf rack option, but also brings a roof box option, making it the 19th vehicle to feature this option. The Minimus features a pretty unique livery that has bumper stickers all across the back of the vehicle. Now if you look closely, these are all reused textures from the various billboards in the game, including the Prop 208 billboard, Vote Cranley billboard, Prop 14 billboard, the uranium mining billboard, the Bologna billboard, and a few others. As for some vehicle fixes that Rockstar has introduced from previous issues and past DLCs, the Terminus has had its rear windows fixed. Prior to this DLC, upon choosing different roof options for the Terminus, the window panes would actually disappear. Now it appears that this was also fixed on the police variant of this vehicle. However, sometimes when spawning this vehicle in, the side rear windows do not appear. And although the window panes are always there when they're supposed to, it appears that they're always there all the time, even if you remove the roof. So Rockstar went a little bit too far on this fix. The Paragon S had its carbon hood texture fixed. It was a little bit buggy prior to this DLC. And the HSW Firebolt ASP was unable to be used in HSW time trials, but has since been fixed. So you can take that truck and do the time trials, even if it's not the best option for them. As for liveries, Rockstar's added a whole bunch of liveries to existing vehicles in the game. Some of these are not available yet. To start, there's a hidden livery on the Evron RS called the Mosh Mosh livery, which has an alien-like design and might be available closer to Halloween. The rest of these liveries are all available on drift versions of existing vehicles in the game, and although the drift versions aren't out yet, when they do arrive, these liveries will be available. There are 5 drift liveries available for the Hardy, including Kurukuru, Minami, Kita, Higashi, and Nishi. We'll also be receiving a drift version of the Gauntlet Hellfire, which will have 9 exclusive liveries, including Drift Enforcement, Jackal Racing, Team Hardstand, Grand Havoc, Hell's Kitten, Dense Motorsport, Pride Up North, Scribble, and Redline. The Dominator FX will also receive some drift liveries, including Something Japanese, Korean Import, Grassroots Drifter, Wild Style, Memphis Fracture, Hawkin' Little Racing, Aero Racing, Retro Detailing, and Clipping Point. The last existing vehicle to receive a drift version with its exclusive liveries is the Chavos V6, which will get some liveries including T-East Sports, Sakura, Cabal Reflection, Yogurishima Racing, Arcana Penris, Frank, Higashi Spirit, and Process Color Drifter, which again will only be available on the drift version of the Chavos V6. 2 extremely niche issues have been patched in this DLC, which really make me question where Rockstar's priorities lay, as they fixed an issue where high-top sneakers would be removed from players' wardrobes unexpectedly. Another issue involved tattoos randomly appearing on the player despite them not purchasing them. Now these are 2 issues that are great to see fixed, but it really goes to show that perhaps they could have focused on something like the Coquette D5 still being bulletproof. An update that many players are aware of is the addition of 50 more vehicles with missile lock-on jammer options. Roughly half of these are vehicles that are still purchasable in-game, including the Albany VSTR, the Euros, the Remus, the Dubsta 6x6, the Dorado Cruiser, the Impaler LX, the Baller LE-LWB Armored, the Calico GTF, the Kuruma, the Shinobi, the 10F and 10F Widebody, the Jugular, Entity MT, Torero XO, Devastate 8, Hakucho Drag, Contender, and then the Dominator, Dominator ASP, Dominator FX Interceptor, Dominator GTT, the Unmarked Cruiser, and the Western Reaver. The other half of the vehicles are vehicles that were removed from the in-game website roughly 2 years ago that have now been returned to the in-game websites because they have missile lock-on options. These include the Hermes, the Hellion, the Shafter LWB, the Shafter LWB Armored, which is the only vehicle that has never returned for purchase in the past 2 years, so it's been a long time coming. The Benefactor XLS and XLS Armored, which has only returned twice in 2 years. The Raiden, the Akuma, the ETR-1, the Cognoscenti and Cognoscenti Armored, the Paragon R, the Viserys, the Swinger, which returned 8 times in the last 2 years, the Amorgon, the Torero, the 811, the original Comet, the GP1, the Tyrus, the Deviant, the Hakuchu, the Revolter, the SC1, the Zion Classic, and the Vapid Stanier. Moving into the details specifically related to the new properties in the game, I think it's important to mention that there's a snack bowl in every single property you can buy, and in the Smoke on the Water property, there's also a bong and joint that you can smoke. Within the car wash, it's pretty interesting that Raph's monitor is not plugged in or connected to anything, despite the fact that it works when he's sitting at the computer. Upon doing heli tours around Los Santos, if you finish one mission and then start up another heli tours mission immediately after by phoning Raph, it actually spawns you a new helicopter that you have to get into. You can't use the same one that you previously used, making these a bit more difficult to grind out if you wanted to. It's also important to mention the bonuses that these businesses offer to your pre-existing bonuses. The car wash gives you a 35% bonus on your counterfeit cash sales, Smoke on the Water gives you a 35% bonus to your weed farm sales, and the heli tours business gives you a 10% bonus to your air freight sales, which isn't much, but is very helpful for those who like selling those businesses. Also located at the Higgins Heli Tours business, you can actually spawn any of your helicopters at the helipads outside the business. This includes the new Higgins Heli Tours Maverick, which is only obtainable this way, as it comes with the property and you can't purchase it or spawn it anywhere else. It's also important to mention that this version of the Maverick is its own separate vehicle. It is not just a livery on the normal Maverick. I even purchased the Maverick just to make sure that it wasn't available, and all you can do is paint the regular Maverick, meaning that this is a separate model in the game, similar to the Cluck and Bell Benson that came out a few updates ago. Moving back to the interior of these properties, the Heli Tours has a funny whiteboard that's been kinda half erased. It includes a faded picture of the helicopter upside down that says, "No bad," an illustration of someone hanging from the bottom of the helicopter that says, "We," and an arrow that points through the rotor that says, "No spinny equals bad." I think this is some fun, light humor that Rockstar added that definitely wasn't needed, but I was happy to see and have a good chuckle at it. On the adjacent wall within this property, you can see a blueprint-style map of San Andreas. This is likely the same map that was given out with the collector's edition of the game that has blacklight features. So this isn't something new and likely isn't hinting towards anything else coming in the game. Also located within the Smoke on the Water business are some Vespucci t-shirts, likely something else we sell on the storefront that's only open during the day. At night, the shutters go down, closing the storefront. Moving into some of the quality of life updates, we have a new option within the main menu of the expanded and enhanced edition of the game. This allows you to pick what business you want to spawn in at, which saves you the hassle of loading into the game and then changing your spawn point and loading into the game again. It's also very helpful if you just want to do one business work and that's what you're feeling. The Arena War missions saw a 2x increase for arena points, which doesn't really change much. It's still a grind and a half to get anything you actually want, but it does technically cut the time in half. Speaking of cutting time in half, you can skip a lot of major cutscenes once you've watched them once. And this does apply to the Dr. Dre contract missions, meaning that grinding those is going to be so much easier. As for sale missions in public lobbies, the global countdown has been increased to 60 seconds for any business that has the global countdown initiated. This means you'll have a whole minute before you appear on the radar upon starting these sale missions, which gives you a little bit more time to get your bearings and get started on the mission before some griefers could come after you. It also makes it easier for the biker businesses as the post-ops van has been removed from the rotation of sale missions, meaning you'll no longer have to drive the post-ops van up and over the Vinewood Hills at 2 miles an hour. Both the RC Bandito and the Invade and Persuade tank have seen 2 nerfs. First off, they are now affected by EMP launchers, allowing people to disable the vehicle if you're coming after them. But if they manage to destroy either of these remote control vehicles, their cooldown times have been increased to 5 minutes to match the nano drone, which should help cut down on spam use of these vehicles. The next change is something I probably wouldn't have even noticed, and it's that the rank requirement for some survival missions has been removed. And to be honest, I forgot that survival missions even had a rank requirement, so... A quality of life update that came to just GTA Plus members is the ability to spin the lucky wheel twice in a row each day, which is great, fun, useful, I suppose. It just feels like an extra thing they're tacking onto GTA Plus to try and convince you to purchase it. Moving into the various map changes that took place in this update, we have the signs at the new businesses. There are new foreclosure signs at the Car Wash, Higgins Heli Tours, and Smoke on the Water businesses. Now these aren't major, but it's nice to see that they added these signs as they really probably didn't have to. If you've been completing the Higgins Heli Tours around Los Santos, you'll notice that when you pick up and drop off the NPCs, you land at a helipad. Now I'm sure most players wouldn't have ever noticed this, but since I've ranked every helipad in the game, I immediately recognized that these were not there before, and they only spawn in during the missions, and they actually disappear once the mission is over. The only other map changes that are taking place in the game haven't been enabled yet, and they're the addition of construction equipment where 2 potentially new mansions will be built in the Vinewood Hills. This is a similar tease to when the casino was opening and they put construction equipment outside months in advance to that update coming out. This information was found in the game files, and all credit goes to Slick, who took and shared these screenshots over on Twitter. As for the final few updates, there's been some changes to the creators and job menus. To start off, military land vehicles are now available within transform and random races. There's been an option added to disable respawning to get a new vehicle in the random transform races. When starting a race, you can choose to ghost until first checkpoint or turn on ghosting the wrong way option for anti-griefing, even if the original creator of the race did not make those original options. Within the creator, you can force the aim type for any job now, and that includes survivals, death matches, captures, and more. The limited time Lunar New Year's props that were only available in the lunar races are now available in all stunt races. And finally, within the creator, you can now change the amount of time given to players in between each wave of a survival, allowing them more prep time to prepare for the next wave. Now, there was a lot of other minor changes and fixes in the patch notes that Rockstar put out, but I'll link those in the description if you want to read it for yourself. In the meantime, check out that video because YouTube thinks you'll enjoy it, and thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the update.